Thomas, good to see you. Today we are talking 3 RMD strategies to reduce your tax burden. I know that you're always thinking of strategies to help your clients reduce their taxes. So let's talk about those required minimum distributions because proper planning is vitally important. Let's start at the top. What are RMDs and how are they calculated?
Absolutely. So RMDs are your required minimum distributions. And what those are is the distributions that you have to take from qualified plans at the age of 72. It's not 70 anymore. The Secure Act changed that. So at age 72, whatever your IRA is or your 401k values, we look at the end of the year values and we divide that by a life expectancy factor, which gives you your RMD, which you must take at age 72.
Okay. So I also know that you work very hard to make sure that your clients take those distributions when they have to, because if you don't, there is a very significant penalty.
Absolutely. 50% of whatever that RMD value is. If you have an RMD that's 20 grand, you're going to pay the government $10,000 of that RMD. So it's wise to be proactive and think about planning for your RMD distributions for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's talk through the 3 strategies to reduce the tax burden that comes with RMDs. And first on your list of considerations here, early distributions. Why is that?
Yeah, definitely. We've had videos about this in the past where we know that qualified plans can be a potential tax bomb for you. We know that we are in one of the lowest tax environments in the United States history. So being proactive and potentially pulling that money out beforehand, if you know that it's going to be a large amount of money in your 401k or in your IRAs, to be proactive and think about after the age of 59 and a half and moving that over to maybe an index universal life policy. That's one strategy you can employ for sure.
Okay. And the next strategy here, Roth conversions. This is also something that we've talked about before. Why are Roths a good option?
Well, it's a benefit because first of all, that money that is converted over when you actually do a distribution out of a Roth, it comes out tax free. So we know that we are in one of the lowest tax environments. We have a large looming debt over our head, and potentially in the future, the tax implications can be higher. So using a Roth can be a way to navigate around potential tax implications in the future. But there's some things that you should consider. You should consider your current and future tax brackets, how much time that you do have left, and then your comfort level with the risk that's associated with moving your money over to a Roth.
And last on your list, something that we've talked about before, qualified charitable distributions. Thomas, tell me about those QCDs.
Yeah, I think that's a huge play for individuals who have a connection to some sort of charity. They have a large amount of money. Believe it or not, it can be a problem in your IRA or 401ks, and are looking at ways to navigate around taxes. You can pull out up to $100,000 for QCD and move it to a charity and not have any tax implications in regards to that count towards your ordinary income. So I think they're a great play for people who want to help out and leave a legacy. You can move $100,000, and that's if you're married. If you're married, you or your spouse can do that up to $100,000. So it's a good deal.
Such a win-win. And I should mention too that we have done separate breakout videos on Roth conversions and QCD separately. So it's kind of advanced math. That's why, it's worth a deeper dive. I just want to underscore that this all comes back to strategic tax planning, because those RMDs are income. And it brings us back to, a lot of people think they're going to be in a lower tax bracket when they retire, but that is just not always the case.
Right. And a lot of people, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you may not think that you can accumulate that wealth, but if you're saving aggressively, those things add up, and you could potentially be in a higher tax bracket later in life with the income that's coming out of your investments. So I think that is a misconception to think that you may be in a lower tax bracket. Well, it's important for you to visit with a tax advisor to determine where you may be and where you're at to navigate around what you could possibly be paying Uncle Sam. So.
Well, Thomas, talking through these strategies is very helpful, but again, some of them are a little bit more complicated than others. If somebody has questions about something that we've covered today, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, first you can obviously go to my website. It's martinheritagegroupllc.com. You can shoot me an email at info@martinheritagegroupllc.com. You can also reach out to me via telephone 651-503-6064. And I'm also on all social media platforms at Martin Heritage Group.
All right, Thomas, thank you.
Thank you.